Okay, people, I guess this is going to be part 13, and this will be the last one here, because I don't have any more time left in that. Uh, so I hope you get what I'm saying about what looks like what's happening at the moment to me. Uh, what can you do if this is an invasion happening right now? And it sure as heck seems like it. And remember, people, before you start laughing, remember, I always say, don't remember September 11th. Remember September 10th, 2001. If somebody told you that there was going to be, well, let's just say, forget the planes, because they haven't even established that yet. If they told you that the World Trade Center was going to explode tomorrow, both of them, yeah, and they were going to fall to they're going to drop to the ground. They were going to telescope. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that they were going to telescope down to the ground, and it was going to be called, an actual, due to the heat of burning fuel that they were going to perform a perfect telescope in on themselves. Would you have laughed then? Of course you would have, because at that point, nobody gets through to, America. At least that's how I felt. Not anymore. People, I don't know how else to tell you, but to give you an honest, I'll call it my opinion, so it's just an opinion, although it's so very much more calculated than I can ever show you. But people, everything, when you have a scenario of what you think is happening, and you have every single thing on your list is being actuated within that scenario, chances are your target synopsis is pretty much, I would say you can probably take it to the bank that you're correct. And this is not a secret. It's, how do you, take over a superpower like that? And you do it, as it's, it was, like I said, is that they seem to have rules themselves where they have to kind of announce it to everybody and then do it. And then your non-consent or non-action, your non-response or non-action is, as they say, I don't think it is, but as they say, willful consent. And then it gives them the so-called legal authority in their minds, and in this supposedly contract situation, whatever contract that may be, to do so. I don't think so. But nevertheless, I've already painted for you now how this could possibly be happening. I'm just a very concerned individual for, not only for my loved ones and friends, and myself, but for everyone. And I'm talking, doggies and kitties and, all animal life, plant life, because I don't want to see, our Earth, our Mother Gaia, or TERRA, or however you refer to it, harmed either. It's too beautiful of a place, people. And I think these very evil beings know that, otherwise they wouldn't want it so bad, would they? People. So when I was asked today, well, what do we do? Here's what you do. You start by doing 2 don'ts. Well, what do we do? Okay, here's your 2 don'ts. You do these 2 don'ts, okay? Don't leave your house or your home. And if you are forced to leave it, try to swing your way around. Do it clandestinely. Do it in a stealth type manner. However you have to do it. But don't leave the complete area, or try to stay within eyesight of it. Get up on a mountain range if you think you can see it. Please don't make fun of me, okay? Because I don't know what else to say. That's what you do. For that, don't leave your house. And if you're forced to do it, they're doing it 9 times out of 10. They're doing it illegally. Just tell them, no, we're going to write it out up here. You have every right to do that. But like, remember now, my friend's girlfriend, it was another individual I was familiar with, had relatives or girlfriends, whatever, up as that the Miami one is happening. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying, yes, they'll be able to create an atmosphere or so, but, she said she never experienced any 200-mile-an-hour winds or 150 mile or whatever it was. She said everything she experienced was much, much weaker than the other actual real hurricanes that had passed through. So don't leave your house. If you're forced to do it, go back and around or up and under or over or whatever you have to do. Get up on a mountain range, get up on a hill, get up on a whatever. But don't leave it as I have in that thing that I have uploaded called The Big Show. It shows how they would do everything man-made, and they can, and make you think that it's some type of prophecy. Make sure that you don't leave it out of eyesight, because all of a sudden you'll see, just like I saw a picture of one today, and it just lit me off. It said this area is hurricanes passed by the area is still impassable, and residents are not being allowed back in, or the occupants of the homes are not being allowed back in as of yet. Water is too, now you couldn't see it because they had it blocked off from afar. But they said, we're not letting people through. I know what they're doing right now. Well, the first thing they're going to do is, like I had already stated, if you do happen to go to one of those shelters or so-called, camps or what have you, that they have you go to or force you to go to or whatever. Hopefully they won't force you. I would give them very little information, people. I really would. Or I wouldn't give them anything. And if they are sitting there, at gunpoint, which I think we all saw in Katrina, which just literally it lit me off and broke my heart at the same time. But then give them your name. But people, you do not have to give them. But don't give them your address. Here's why. If you give them your address, all they have to do is make sure that you're offed. And then, well, yep, we got that one. That one's not going to be coming around to do anything. So, at least not the direct owner. So, we'll go ahead and we can either occupy it if it's nice or tear it down if it's not. And we'll go ahead and redevelop or rebuild or whatever. Because that's what they're wanting. That's exactly their end game. It's exactly what they want to do. It's way too obvious. And if they're going to sit there and say, I don't think that's, no, that's not what we're going to do, well, then they better watch all their people that's out there blabbing, because they've already let the cat out of the bag. I don't know how many times I've seen that. That's exactly what they're going to do. And, when you're at these shelters, people, if at all possible, don't give them your name. If they force you to, okay, fine. But give them give them a slang name, give them a whatever. And if they force, don't give them your address, because if you do, just give them a faulty one. If they say, well, we need proof, just say, well, I don't know, everything's in there, everything's in the house, and whatever, do everything you can to not give it that information. And by all means, people, do not. And I'm just, if this happened, this is what I would tell somebody if it did happen, and if they were to ask me for my advice, this is what I would tell them. Okay, don't give your name or your address, but if you're forced to, find a way to, oh, I don't know, edit it somehow so it's untraceable. But do not give them your blood. I don't have any more time on this stuff, people. I've got to move on. But let's just say, going back to these nasty habits in the opposite direction. All right. RFID chips? No. Let's just say DNA, as I know it, it's like a biological fingerprint, is it not? I think all doctors will tell you that. And because your body is electric and your blood is electromagnetic, now just put it together, people. What do you think they can do with something like that if they have the technology to do so? You don't need a RFID chip. They want you, remember, they want you looking in another direction so you're not looking, according to them, let's just say in the direction of interest or a place of interest. Or do you follow me? I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but a nurse was arrested. I think she was eventually let go, but they actually put her in handcuffs, and it was nothing more but to intimidate her. And these thugs with badges, man, there's no reason to do that. That's still, I don't care if you're 80 years old. You're still somebody's child. And, there's no reason to do that. That's what I'm saying, I have seen 80-year-old men and women get literally tackled and slammed by these thugs with badges. When I was small, we had the good neighborhood. I do anything to help. But they weren't paramilitary troopers with all this military equipment on either. But I got to cover this because I got to get going with this. But don't leave your house, and don't and people, this is kind of an in general one here, but it goes for everything, not just the don't leave your house thing or during that time. It's for all time. Do not. What I would say if somebody asked me, what should I tell them? Whatever. Okay, whatever. Don't drop your guard. If you are told, okay, everything's better now, and by the way, most of the bad guys seem to have been caught now, and everybody's going to be facing all these tribunals or whatever. Okay, well, let's see. If everything's so much better and everything's taken care of, aren't we supposed to be transparent already? Well, just because somebody tells you, especially who, I'm not going to say him again, people, I've seen so many people around me because they were afraid a certain somebody was going to win the last election. But when they, and even after that, when there was a so-called attempt to, take the current incumbent out, there was, everybody was worried, or at least the people that, supported the incumbent. But